Hi, everybody. I'm Lisa Richter from McKillop Library, and I'm the liaison to the biology department. Today, we're going to be looking at two very specific journal titles and how to locate them through the library portal. So you want to begin up here at library.salve.edu. You can also Google McKillop Library. Whichever way gets you to this landing page is great. So normally when librarians come into your classroom, we talk with you about locating resources through library databases. And sometimes we might start with this article search. If you're doing a very broad search in a lot of different subject areas, or we might use this databases A to Z if we're doing a little more of a focused search using subject-specific databases. A tool that we don't demonstrate very often is the one we're going to look at today, which is journal titles. And it's not very often that we have specific journal titles that we're looking for. But in Bio 255, Dr. Chase wants you to use two specific journals. Number one, conservation biology, and the other one is biological conservation. So because we have those journal titles, this is going to be the most efficient way to search these using this tool. So we'll begin with clicking journal titles. And I'll type in the first title, which is conservation biology. Now, what we find when we get to the next page is records for two different ways to access this journal through the library. And so the first one says it's through Wiley Online Library, and then the other says it's through JSTOR. So how do we know which one to choose? The next thing we want to look at is the coverage, and that's going to let us know. So JSTOR provides coverage from 1987 to 6 years ago. So that's not going to give us the most recent information. So we want to choose our access through this particular collection, Wiley, because the coverage here is from 1997 to the present. So we'll click this link up here, Conservation Biology through the Wiley collection. And this takes us directly to the journal publisher page with access through Salve Regina. And then we just want to begin with our search box. So I'm going to use the keyword bumblebees as my topic. And this gives me 47 results. I haven't put any date limiters on here yet. In the sciences, we definitely want to search for the most current information, and a lot of times 5 years is a good limiter, and we have that here. So we can add last 5 years, and that brings us to 10 results for my keyword bumblebees. So now we want to look and see, what do we have? What kind of articles have we found in this search set? And so in each of these white boxes is a record for an article. This first one says it is a contributed paper. So most likely that is going to be a research article. So we want to click on the title, and we can read the abstract and find out what the authors were looking for. We can also look at the introduction, and oftentimes when you get to the last few sentences of the introduction, we can usually find out what they're measuring or researching. And here it says that they were evaluating a variation in heat resistance of a large set of bumblebee species that live in different habitats. So that gives us an idea of what they're researching, and then we look at the methods to find out what their sample size was, and we go to the results to find out what their data was. So this tells us that this contributed paper is definitely a research study. As we go on down the list, the next article is a book review. So unless we were to get a copy of this particular book, probably not much information from the book review would be helpful, except maybe helping us find some other issues that we might want to explore and maybe pull some keywords from that book review, but we wouldn't be able to use the book review itself as a source in most cases for an assignment. We have another contributed paper here, more book reviews. Let's take a look at this one. This one is an essay. So this particular article, assessing ecological function in the context of species recovery. Generally speaking, essays are viewpoints expressed by the authors. The sources that they're finding are to support their argument and they're not necessarily presenting a broad range of results, exploring both sides. So it's something that you need to pay attention to, that there might be bias in a particular article that is an essay because the authors are expressing a viewpoint and using their sources to back it up. So that is going to be a very different type of source from what is being defined here as a contributed paper, which is using data to help answer a question. Okay, so these are the different types of resources we have available through this particular journal for this keyword. Now I'm going to back up and go back to the journal search tool, and we'll look for the second title, which is Biological Conservation. In this particular journal, we have just one collection in which we have paid access to the journal, and that is Science Direct. And as you can see, the coverage is from 1995 to present. So I'll click on this link, and that will take us to the journal Biological Conservation through the database Science Direct. And then we'll just go to this box to search directly in the journal. There's my keyword, and I will add the keyword bumblebees and see what kind of results we have here. I need to put my date limiters in, and we'll find all of our limiters over here on the left side of the page. So I'll click this open to expand it and get the last 5 years worth of results. And that brings us to 38. One of the things that I like about the Science Direct database itself is that it does identify article types. And so we can see right here that of this search set of 38 results, 4 of those are review articles, 23 of them are research articles, book reviews, correspondence, and some other information. So if your professor specifically will allow you to use review articles, those are often a great way to begin your research because they help you understand some of the issues surrounding your topic. And so in this case, the broad topic of bumblebees, we could look at a few review articles and see some of the issues that are currently being explored. And that might help us narrow our topic a little bit. But then the specific research articles are where we're going to get data of work that's being done right now to solve problems associated with the topic of bumblebees. So it's just great to have this filter, especially when you have very specific parameters in your assignment of the kinds of information that you're able to use. So once you've looked at the types of articles, then you can open up the article and get the full text. And Science Direct, we have full text to all of these resources. And the other thing that's really great about Science Direct is generally their research articles are organized in a very predictable way. And so after reading the abstract, then you can find out if you want to go further and explore this article for your research. Okay, I'm going to go back to the home page. That is the journal search tool when you have a specific journal title. Before we go, I do want to point out just a couple of other things that will be helpful to you as you're doing your research. Our quick links here has a bunch of things that I think you would find helpful, such as meeting with a librarian or help with citing sources. And also you can use the chat tool if you have a specific question. We're staffing the chat several hours out of the day, and so you can type a specific question into the chat, and we'll work with you and help you get the sources that you need. Up here with the Meet a Librarian link, as you're working through your research with this class, if you want to make an appointment with me, all you have to do is go to the list of reference librarians, find my name, and then you can look for dates and times that match with your schedule. And once you find one, just click continue. You can fill out a little form and hit submit, and we can meet either in person or here at McKillop Library, or we can meet over Zoom. So that wraps up this tutorial for finding specific journal titles using the journal search tool. Good luck with your research, and let me know if I can help you further. Bye.